It has been way too fucking long. Things kind of got out of hand with, well, work and everything, and school, and trying to keep up on Twitch and stuff. But fuck it, I'm here now, and we are going to do something, and this time I'm going to make it stick until I'm able to reach affiliate. Or at least I hope. I have a lot of ideas for what I want to do today in terms of stream, and right now I'm kind of stuck. But I am trying, and I'm going to do some stuff. Just not sure what yet. And I'm gonna have to send the live message on my phone because my blocker for my web browser that I set up to help make me more productive also blocks my Twitter. And I did mean to get started a bit earlier than today, but I was trying to get outside and be productive and do some stuff with my woodworking and cosplay and other things, and well, it turns out that sanding a bunch of resin and crap is going to cover you in resin and crap. And at the end of the day, it looked like I had just gotten hit by a microplastic snowstorm. And yes, I am just going to make random noises, and that is going to be considered content. I am a content creator, and that means anything I make is content. Whether it's a fart, a funny sound, if I'm laughing at something, if I'm doing something, if I'm eating something. It's the recycling of the digital world. Now the question is, what do I do for a game? I could play a PSP game and I could find something janky and funny to download. I could play Battle for Bikini Bottom. I have Yakuza 0. I have this really crappy old ATV racing game called Nailed they got for like $1.99 that really hits that janky arcade racer niche. And I also have some other fun stuff like Fallout 4 and Sonic Racing and everything else. And I think I also need to look at and adjust some of my Twitch settings real quick as we're still kind of getting things started. Oh hey, I have a furry visual novel in my Steam library. You know what? I know what we're gonna do today. It's furry day. Furry day! Yes, Steam, I want to create a start menu shortcut for angels with scaly wings. So like I'm still just kind of gonna be on just chatting and doing stuff for a few minutes while that goes together and everything. You know what? I need a furry asset. You know what? That's something that gives me something to do. I'm gonna find my tablet real quick and I am going to draw myself a furry. Korasu as a furry. Does that sound like fun? And if I sound funny, it's because I got this like Irish coffee with this Breva cream, which I think turned out being, I think Breva cream is like half espresso and half cream. Don't quote me on that because you're on the internet and we can all Google it, but I'm just shooting the shit. But my heart feels like a hummingbird has taken flight within it. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put the blame. Ow. Some people got real problems. And also, welcome in. We have a viewer already. Like, that's pretty dang fire, I think. Now, if only I could plug my fucking tablet in. And yes, I think Channel Awesome and Germa and Bionicle and all those other things are funny, and you cannot tell me otherwise. Don't put the blame on me. So, oh my gosh, my hands are shaky. I'm trying to figure out how to draw a dragon. Gosh, why does this look like a college mascot so far? And also his tongue and his mouth looks like the arm of a zombie. Yes, I am drawing myself a persona for this stream. Ho ho ho. Thank you so much for hopping in, and this is really, really kind of spur of the moment. I hope the totally not sultry tones of my voice sound good because that is my biggest point of anxiety when it comes to streaming on the internet. Should I make him like a furry rant Sona? Like he has his arms crossed and like he even has like the angry eyes and everything too. This is gonna be hilarious. I need a color more befitting of my Viking nature. Because he is still going to have. Yes. A super laser piss. Fuck. I can't do that one either. You know what? Y'all deserve to see this in person. Capture specific window. I'm trying to get one of these window captures to work so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Why isn't it working? That's a bother. Ad source, media source. Yo, I have it working. You can see me making furries now. And I should probably go and alter my tags as well, but this is a temporary measure while I get things sorted out. Gosh, I freaking love my overlays in background. Like they're so freaking garbage tier, but at the same time they're great. I mean, who else can say that their background is Ralph Macchio from The Karate Kid, a T-Rex poking its head out of a television, Ayanami Rei from Neon Genesis Evangelion wearing a Burger King crown, and a picture of a beach that I took myself with some nondescript people you cannot see and will never be able to identify because it was 4 years ago, as well as a pterodon flying in the background as well overhead, and me and my badass karate Viking self standing front and center. Now let's get back to drawing some furries. Holy hell, my hands are shaky. No, he doesn't seem buff enough. Yes, I'm giving him the angry rant Sona internet crossed arms. I think it's very important that he feels the need to express himself in a manner befitting of a furry. And before you say that this is appropriation, I'll have you know that I seriously am a furry. I just think this is really funny to do.
Hey, Marty, I turned myself into a furry.
Oh, Korasu, why would you do that?
Listen, Marty.
I'll stop trying to be funny. I should probably self piano once again. Because where's the fun if you don't? I am lazy, so I am using the bucket tool. Oh, fuck, that's why we don't do that. Always use the mask tool. When in doubt, mask it out. Wrong color. How many songs about? Songs about rainbows. And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, if only illusion. And yes, I know this isn't really the greatest drawing, but it's the first one that I've made in some time. Wait, no, that doesn't feel right. And of course, I need my signature lightning wings that make me Korasu. So I am gonna use a... No, I don't want to have to deal with going on to another layer. I am just gonna be lazy today. I wonder. And howdy, I still have at least one person here. I'm gonna see if I can maybe draw in some friends who may be tempted. Ah, damn, my friend got shorted in the McDonald's drive-thru. They didn't ask for no ice, and the cup was 85% fucking ice. Now I just need a brush, standard glow. I need to see if I can change the texture on this. No, it says you can import a texture, so I need a... I could paint with beans. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. This is so fucking dumb. Type. If you didn't watch it, you wouldn't know that that's Ayanami Ray from Evangelion. You can just see one of her fucking eyes poking in. Sorry, I have to share this. Sorry, this is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Sorry. I'm trying to see if there's something else I can do here. What? I'm lazy. I'm just gonna go to another layer. This is the way. Oh fuck, that's the wrong one. His eyes need a bit of sparkle. No, don't step on Snake. Now I just have to color his dogi. His karate uniform. I mean, like, everyone, like, especially here, it's just like, well, gi, 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 gi. But then some people, like, are like, no, that is in fact a dogi. Like, because it's not really the full word, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people won't necessarily make that distinction. And I am lazy, so I'm gonna add another layer and draw underneath it so that I don't have to actually draw beneath the layers. And now to go back to the other layer and then color pick the right color so I can actually draw and paint his hand in. Fuck. And I need to go and finish drawing the rest of his belt so that he actually has a belt on. And I don't know why, but I really like drawing like belts and ribbons with the ends like canted like that, like, you know, like Zenkutsu from like Kill La Kill. Like, it just really slaps, and I really enjoy doing that. And I'm trying to make my style a bit more dynamic. And what is going on with my eraser? No, that's the one that goes Thanos on you. Every time I touch, I get this feeling. And every time I touch, I swear I can fly. Your heartbeats rise. I want this to last. Need you by your side. And oh hey, we've already been like half an hour in. Fuck, that's doing something in Twitch that I don't know. I mean, not on Twitch. Oh, that is not the right tool at all, mate. Hello and welcome to Bottom Gear. Now for kind of the signature. Fuck, I did on the wrong half of his belt. I just forgot the name, but I forgot the name for what it was. The furries will never know I'm not one of them. Yes, I know I'm not using the right colors for me. But I need to do this properly. Thank goodness for the magic wand tool so I don't have to actually align my stuff the right way. And what do you know? That's a furry Viking right, Sona. He's going to my stable with all of the other homies. I just have to properly... No, I do not want to do that. I just have to fix some of the holes that I have made in my own painting. This is called being lazy. Actually, you know what? I don't need to do this. I can just draw underneath this layer. Fuck. And then I can just merge them together again. Oh, I see some transparency. It would be a shame if that's actually learn how to paint like a real artist. And I need to give him a big old pink tongue. And there is no way that game hasn't installed by now. I think at this point, if it happens, it's just meant to be. Now I just gotta save. Save. Ho ho! Desk tee up. Then where is my VTubing art folder? Korasu, Rant, Sona. 1. Save as Korasu, Rant, Sona. Pingu. And I am done. How do I add an image? I'm figuring it out. Rant Sauna. This is amazing. And he is taking the place of Ralph Macchio. Sorry, I'm just having to screen cap this because it's so hilarious. And now hopefully the game is installed now. Wait, no, that only took me like 35 minutes to draw. Now to open up the Steam folder. And now I can unplug my graphics Why was I about to say controller? It's a graphics tablet. Capture a specific window. Oh no, I need to move Korasu out of the way. Oh my god, they were roommates. No, I'm messing everything up. What the fuck even is that? I freaking love how busy all this is. And where is my chat box? Sorry, I'm having to fix things on the fly. Why isn't my chat box working? Oh, that's just the game. Wait, what happened? The game just done broke on me. Play game. Continue. Yup, now it works. Y'all are just gonna have to cope with being on top of Ralph Macchio. I'm sorry about that. English. And I should probably go ahead and change my Twitch settings so that it recognizes the game that I'm playing. Twitch.tv. Oh, huh. Tweeterman287 is streaming. Oh gosh, the noise. Why is this so damn intense? Edit. Angels with scaly wings. Oh, okay, this is allowed. I was worried that like there might be something that doesn't let it be a game on Twitch. Just watch. This is like actually going to be a tearjerker. User profile not found. Korasu. I'm gonna ask to show more colors. More? More. You know what? I'm gonna go with lime even if it makes my eyes hurt. What's the point of life without bright colors? I have never played a visual novel before in my life. The year is 20XX. Only recently has humanity discovered a portal that leads into a different world, populated with a race of intelligent talking dragons. I was one of the few to travel to this world. But maybe I should start at the beginning. It all began when we discovered a strange device in the middle of nowhere during one of our expeditions. A portal. I had heard about similar technology before, though that had been on more of an experimental level. From what I knew, other portals had been created in the past and were under consideration for mass application. As for this one in particular, though, we did not know who had built it, nor when, or why we found it in the wilderness where we did. It's in the future after humanity has died, and it's going to be in the ashen remains of Pittsburgh, and I can't remember, like, it's Anthrocon that's in Pittsburgh, right? What was more exciting to us was the fact that it was functional. After our first test, we found that there was someone else on the other side who was in possession of a similar portal, and our attempts at communication through letters were successful. But in the end, the machine's extraordinary demand for power meant we needed to act quickly, as we wouldn't be able to keep the portal open much longer. When we made this known to the other side, we received a very unexpected reply. A letter of invitation. After some deliberation, it was decided to accept their hospitality and send a person to the other side. There was an individual who took the job almost immediately. Reza Izquierdo. I knew him, or rather had known him. We attended the same school back then and even had a few classes together. We never really were close friends, but we talked to each other occasionally and hung around the same crowd sometimes. However, we still went our separate ways in the end. I wasn't sure what to think about the whole thing, but he had to have known what he was doing. He certainly was brave. Either that or just very, very foolish. While I wasn't sure which, his courage was applauded by others. After all, he couldn't have possibly known who or what would await him at the other end of the portal, and if he did meet someone there, who knew what kind of intentions they might have? Not that any speculation on our part would have made a difference. When the day finally came through, he went with applause echoing across the area, equipped only with the clothes he wore, his multi-tool, a gun, and a device on his wrist that acted as a PDA. Then we waited. The crowd that was applauding him slowly dispersed when the enthusiasm died down, as there was nothing for us to do but wait and speculate. Approximately 8 hours later, we received our first message from him. While we had assumed the portal led to another in a different country or maybe on a different continent, the reality turned to be much more foreign. The situation he described to us was so outlandish that we initially took it as a joke. A very bad joke, maybe, with even worse timing and no punchline at all. Sorry, I'm just gonna check my audio real quick and make sure that you can actually hear what I sound like and that it sounds okay. Because I was messing around with like settings and stuff in here before, but test. Yeah, I think we're okay. Finding the portal had been remarkable in itself, but this took it to a completely different level. From what he described about the place, or more accurately, its inhabitants, we surmised it could not be part of Earth at all. We called them dragons because, according to Reza, that's what they were, or at least what they resembled most. Even though we found it hard to believe, it had been these dragons who sent us all the letters, and what Reza found on the other side of the portal was a whole civilization of them. They could talk, write books, had buildings and electricity. In many ways, their society was actually very similar to our own. So, who were they? And where was this place? Could they be aliens? Our speculations led us to conclude otherwise. After all, we knew about the existence of thousands of planets, millions of light years away, that may have theoretically habitable, yet even then we had never found conclusive proof in regards to actual alien life forms. Some people brought up quantum mechanics and parallel universes, but in the end, all of this was just conjecture and an ultimately fruitless endeavor, since we neither had the means nor the resources to explore these possibilities in greater detail. I think there's just one more thing worth mentioning before I move on. The previous isolation had been mutual. They hadn't known about any other intelligent life form beyond their own. Their portal had only recently been discovered and was a technology previously unknown to them, and just as we had myths about dragons, they had myths about us. That was what we knew about them so far, and as interesting as learning those things and debating their cultural significance was, we didn't really know what we should make of it all. Reza apparently was sure of what he was doing, though, as he eventually let us know that they had agreed on a trade. We were to give them a few of our PDA devices, which contained vast amounts of knowledge, dwarfing even that of encyclopedias. In return, they would supply us with generators. Obviously, they didn't seem as technologically advanced as we had been, but they did surpass us in that one aspect. Their means of generating energy seemed sustainable. Not only that, but evidently also quite efficient. We certainly wouldn't be able to put technology like that to good use, and trading mere past knowledge of the human race for something more tangible was a good call on his part. That was when I came in. My prior experience in both biology and sociology made me a good fit to deliver our PDA devices for the trade. And while in the Dragon's world, waiting for the prototypes of our generators to be manufactured by them, I would act as an ambassador on humanity's behalf. What a way to make a first impression by a display of mutual goodwill. Everyone benefits and everyone goes home happy. All is well. At least, that was the plan. Despite the images that living talking dragons might conjure up in some people's minds, I didn't even think of bringing a weapon myself, considering that they were reportedly friendly and peaceful enough. There was no need for me to fear potential ill intentions like Reza did when he had stepped into unknown territory. In acting as humanity's ambassador, I had to do my best to uphold a high standard in fostering this diplomatic relationship. When the time came for me to step through the portal, all my mental preparedness vanished. My anxiousness was fueled by all the questions lurking in my head just as the machine started to do its work. Would it hurt? Who would I meet on the other side? What if they really weren't so friendly and just made Reza write those letters with the pretense of appearing friendly only to lure us into the den of man-eating monsters and certain doom, with us ending up as nothing more than a tasty afternoon snack? Maybe I should have brought a weapon after all. Suddenly, I felt a shiver coursing through my whole body and beyond, when I disintegrated, as if every cell, every atom of my body was torn from myself and pulled into a different direction. I'm gonna drink some water real quick. I saw darkness and light, painting patterns in the stars as I traveled, and images rapidly flashed before me of things unseen and unspoken. Both horrifying and beautiful, it was an experience unlike any other, yet over in just a split second. Then it was dark. I could only see a patch of lighter color contrasting with its dark surroundings as my vision started to clear. Its edges got sharper as the patch of light slowly took shape, giving me the distinguished outline of a reptilian head and an array of horns sprouting from it. He's actually kind of cute. It was a dragon! And as I could now see, a dragon who not only had a pair of round glasses, but also wore a burgundy tie around its neck. Remy, in the name of our people, I bid you welcome. If I may introduce myself, I am Remy, your guide and ambassador, a representative of our council. The dragon spoke. It was one thing to have heard and read about this, but something else entirely to have one standing in front of me in flesh and blood and tongue. It was good that all my mental preparedness had disappeared when I teleported, because nothing could have prepared me for this. Sorry, I imagine you might still feel the effects of the teleportation. Drowsiness or weakness is not unusual, as is fainting and spontaneous emptying of your bowels, bladder, or stomach. How do you feel? Rendered speechless, I had totally forgotten that I was shouldering the burden of representing my people to them as well. So much for being professional, but at least he gave me a good excuse for my blunder. I think I'm alright. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Maybe we should go before it gets too dark. Come with me, please. So I followed the dragon, not straying too far from him, as the sun had already departed for the day, and the remaining light diminished by the minute. It's getting hard to see where I'm going. Sorry about that, but we had a good reason to schedule your arrival like this. We did not want you to be ambushed by a crowd, so we had to keep your exact time and date of arrival secret. Thanks. I suppose an event like this would make me a celebrity of sorts. It would be the same if one of you came to us. That's quite an understatement. Some people here are rather superstitious. They might regard you or any of your kind as divine, I suppose. Really? How so? We do have certain myths that involve humans, and as such, oh, I suppose the history lesson will have to wait for another time. Here we are. By this point, it had gotten so dark they could barely make out the building before us. I briefly wondered whether they might have streetlights elsewhere, or if they just did not require any due to possible enhanced night sight or night vision. I could vaguely see the dragon, his light colors still visible within the blackness that engulfed the area, rear up and manipulate the door handle with one of his forepaws. Hinges creaking, the door opened, and with the flick of a switch, the apartment was flooded with light, blinding me after all the time we had just spent without it. This is where you will live for the time being. It is fully stocked, but in case you need anything else, I left you a note with a few phone numbers. It is getting rather late, so I'll have to take my leave now. In any case, someone will come and meet you tomorrow morning. Thank you, Remy. Have a good night. Until we meet again. With a nod, Remy left the apartment, mindful enough to close the door behind himself. Surveying the room, I considered the events that just transpired as my gaze met the window. I could see movement outside, and as I drew nearer, startled, I could hear footsteps in the grass moving away quickly. Assuming it must have been the dragon I just met, I thought nothing of it as I went to bed and slowly succumbed to the sweet allure of sleep overdue. I spent a few moments thinking about my role, my mission, and what it meant to be here now. I felt the responsibility placed on my shoulders. I was eager for the adventure to come. I'm going to choose the fun one. So many possibilities and prospects raced through my mind. Truth be told, the thought of being able to meet an entirely new species and civilization excited me, as I was going to be one of the first to truly experience their own society with its own little quirks, differences, and similarities. I couldn't help but feel like some kind of modern Vasco da Gama or Marco Polo. Maybe I would even write a book about the whole experience after it's over. I was sure it would become a hit, all things considered. At any rate, this was going to be fun. Oh, poggers! Based, 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 based. Fill him with the venom and aluminum. I awoke from uneasy dreams looking at an unfamiliar ceiling. Just for a moment, I wondered where I was before the events of last night all came back to me. After a good stretch, I looked around the room illuminated by the sunlight coming in from the window. Outside in the distance, the portal I had emerged from proudly stood on the peak of a small hill. Getting ready, I noticed something lying on the table. It was the note Remy had left for me in case I needed anything. Along with his own home phone and work number, there are also some numbers for delivery of food and other necessities, as well as emergency and even janitorial services. He had clearly thought of everything, even though I now had to wonder what a dragon plumber might look like. My musings were interrupted when the doorbell rang. When I opened the door, I was met by another dragon. Hello, you must be Korasu. I'm Sebastian, and I'll be your escort or security, I suppose. Usually I work for the police, though. Nice to meet you. He seemed a lot smaller than Remy, and when he somewhat nervously extended his arm towards me, I noticed he apparently only walked on his hind legs, the two forelimbs instead having distinct arms, hands, and fingers. Chat, should I kiss his hand? Chat, 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 chat. Should I kiss his hand? I was gonna wait for the plumber because I have some pipes that need fixing, but I think I'm going to go ahead and kiss his hand. When I took his hand into mine preparing to kiss it, I could feel the individual bumps and scales on his rough skin. Wait, chat, you should get a kissing noise too. Straight to business, huh? We're going to visit the plant where they are making your generators. They have some news for you, or so I've heard. Reza will be there too. Sounds great. Just follow me. While we walked, I was under the impression that we were purposefully avoiding the busier parts of the town, instead straying towards the edges and small alleys as to not garner too much attention. Even then, we got the occasional stare. After just a couple of minutes, we arrived at our destination where we were met by Reza, as well as yet another dragon, a vicious-looking beast that didn't stay too close to him. So that's what Reza the Quieto looks like. Reza, the long time no see. How true is that? Good to finally meet another human face around here. What a coincidence to have you, of all people, show up. Yeah, I guess those degrees aren't so useless after all. By the way, who's your friend? Just my bodyguard, same as yours. Don't bother with him, he doesn't talk much. You know what? I am not in this game to seduce humans. I am not going to pick the romantic option for Reza. I bet he'd win in a fight with mine, though. Ha. The two dragons exchanged a few words, and as I met the gaze of the larger Tenebrous dragon a few paces from us, Sebastian turned towards me and spoke up again. Hey, Korasu, this is Maverick.
Oh my gosh! Maverick! 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 Maverick!
Nice to meet you. Yeah, whatever. Just don't expect me to give you any special treatment like everyone else's and we'll be good. What are you talking about? So you're saying you haven't noticed the stairs and how they all treat you like you're the next Messiah or something? No, I just thought. We're not the ones making a big deal out of this, you are. We're just here to get what we agreed on and then we'll be gone. If anything, I'd actually prefer if you left us alone, but you're the one who insists on following me around wherever I go. A growl escaped the darker dragon's trembling lips as he bared his teeth at Reza. Alright. That's quite enough. Let's just go all inside, shall we? After you. The crisis was quickly averted as we entered the building, which was characterized by its many floors, high ceilings, and long, narrow hallways as Sebastian led us to our destination. There you are. I was waiting for you. She got them dies. How does she even wear those goggles? Wait a minute. I thought we were going to meet the guys from production. What are you doing here? They're only coming in later today, so you'll just have to make do with me. I see. Well, Korasu, this is Anna. She kinda manages this building, though actually she's more involved with the research wing rather than production and engineering. Nice to meet you. My pleasure. I have something for you, by the way. It'll take them a while to make all the generators we promised, but we've got one for you here. Feel free to send it home and give it a test. That's great. I'll take it. Looks a little small if you ask me. Don't underestimate its power. Oh, and do be careful to not drop it. Sure, I'll be waiting outside while you do your thing, Korasu. I suppose I'll wait for you outside as well. What thing? Oh, have you brought the PDA? Of course. Here you go. Alright, now to give this thing a test run. The PDA lit up as her hand swiftly moved around its interface in calculated motions. By the way, would you consider letting me run some tests on you as well? It would only take a drop of your blood. What? Why? I work in biology, so obviously this kind of thing would be very interesting to us. I'd share the results with you, of course. I'm giving her my blood. Great. She was quick to produce a small device from a drawer which, from a glance, reminded me a lot of a test tube. Now if you would give me your hand, please. As I reached out to her, she took my hand into hers before she pressed the device into the back of my hand. I winced as pain jolted through my hand. Something sharp drove itself through my skin, and shortly afterwards a droplet of blood was sucked into the tube attached to the small needle. Thanks. You're welcome. You gave Anna your blood! Achievement unlocked! Blood donation! Looks like your PDA is good, by the way, so we're about done here. And since we're both in biology, it could be interesting if you want to meet me some other time as well. Here's my number. See you soon. Well, that was interesting. Did she ask you for your blood too? Yeah. Did you give it to her? You know what? I'm gonna be honest. Oh well, it's your choice. We've got no idea what they might do with it, though. I'm getting hungry. How about some breakfast? I'm all for it. I can't stand early mornings like this. That shouldn't be a problem. There's a cafe not far from here. What do you say, Mavers? I wouldn't mind to grab a bite myself. Nut sells it then. Luckily for us, the cafe was mostly empty when we arrived, as it was still pretty early in the day. Reza was quick to lead me to a table for two, prompting the dragons to get one of their own at the other side of the restaurant. Finally. I can't stand that guy being on my tail all the damn time. The dragon wants to seduce you, Reza. You need to get it. We were approached by an individual who appeared to be the waitress of the cafe. She was an interesting looking dragon who, unlike the others I had seen so far, was more akin to a wyvern. Oh, it's the humans. That's a good one. Welcome to our establishment. My name's Adine, and I'll be your waitress today. What can I bring you to? Just a coffee for me. Yeah, me too. Just make it quick. Sure thing. 2 coffees coming right up. As I was saying, if you look at the big picture, don't you think there's just something off about this whole place? Where is it really? If this is supposed to be a completely separate place from Earth, or even a different dimension, some things just don't add up. Don't you think so too? Can't really say much more with you know who over there. He's probably listening to us right now. When I let my gaze wander, I saw that Maverick was looking in my direction. Our eyes met briefly, his expression not showing any discernible emotion, while I wondered whether it had just been a coincidence or if he really was able to hear us from the distance. I think I'm gonna need to change a couple of Twitch settings real quick. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the thing that lets me change my... Well, that's the thing. Because, like, I do make some, like, dumb and adult jokes and stuff, so I figured I may as well change my stream so that it's set to 18 plus or mature content in terms of stuff. I do have some theories, and if I'm right, we might be in trouble. What kind of trouble? What are you talking about? God knows we need him. Oh, there she comes. The female returned, astounding me with her ability to balance the dishes on the edges of her wings. She placed her forelimb on the table and proceeded to move the dishes from her wing to us with a gentle push of her snout. There you go. Enjoy. You're welcome. I'll send you a letter with the code and message later. You'll know what to do. Reza rose from his seat before he made it known to me that he still had a few things left to do and left the restaurant, followed shortly by the larger of the 2 dragons. Laters. I wasn't in a hurry, so I spent a few more minutes in contemplation while I looked out the window and finished my coffee. Not that this whole situation was already bizarre enough, there was also now the vague sense of danger conveyed by Reza's earlier words. I did not even have an idea what kind of threat might be lurking out there. Eventually, I got up, ready to be on my way for whatever else the day might bring. Are you done? Sure am. How'd you like it? It was alright. Glad you enjoyed it. Just wait outside and I'll handle the rest. Sure thing. I stepped outside, taking in the scenery of this strangely familiar world. In the short time I was here, I had already found the similarities between the world and our own utterly fascinating. After all, we were talking about an unmapped place with a never-before-seen form of life. As far as discoveries were concerned, even something as simple as a new unicellular organism or even bacteria would have been remarkable. And wait, I gotta do something real quick. And I am back. Stepped outside, blah blah blah, already got that far. Yet here I was standing in the middle of a village, evidently built by this race of intelligent talking dragons with a society not unlike that of our own. Reza didn't seem to share the same interest and was instead more smitten with the generator, but given our reasons for coming here in the first place, I couldn't blame him for his enthusiasm being focused on something else. My thoughts were interrupted as something suddenly zipped past me just a little too close, causing me to stumble back. It was a rather small dragon with a bag clumped in its maw who apparently had somewhere to be. I regained my footing and watched as it disappeared into the distance. Even though I'd seen enough dragons to recognize their variations in size, color, and other attributes, I guess this one must have been a juvenile of its species. Shortly after, Sebastian joined me outside, having taken care of the tab. I gave her a generous tip on your behalf. I hope you don't mind. In any case, now that you've given us the PDA and Reza has the generator, you're free for today. So if you want to go anywhere in particular, let me know, or I could just show you around town. I was tempted to be given a tour, but given Reza's words, I wanted to be careful and not stray too far without knowing more about this world first. I think I'll stay home for today. Still have to get used to everything, you know? I'll just accompany you back then. There you are. Home sweet home. For now, at least. Well, if you need anything, I'll be outside until my shift ends. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. See you tomorrow. See ya. I hadn't really looked at the apartment much. Or actually... I do kind of need to go and have lunch for a bit, so I think I'm going to hop out for now. See y'all.